OneFootball allows you to stay on top of latest transfer information and team news with personalised content. Gain access to football news, schedules and results in over 100 leagues to track your favourite clubs and track live play performance scores and stats in unrivaled detail during match days. Also gain a front row seat to matchday action and videos from your favourite teams, so access everything football by downloading the OneFootball app now for free on the App Store or Google Play. Hello FPL managers, today we take a look at the brand new price reveals coming into the FPL 2021-22 season. In today's video we take a look at all 20 teams price reveals as well as some players to target based on these new price changes and some potential options to have in your squad coming into game week 1. So just before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and once again share this video with your friends if you guys are enjoying this type of content. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So first of all, taking Liverpool's price reveals, Trent is coming in at £7.5 million, which hasn't changed since last season, but Salah has seen a £12.5 million price tag, which is a £0.5 million increase, which does make him the most expensive player in the game. Robertson stays at £7 million as he was the second highest scoring defender, and Jota sees a £1 million increase as he is £7.5 million. Moving on to West Ham, Antonio has seen a price rise of around £1.5 million as he is £7.5 million. Souček has also seen a price rise at £6 million. Cresswell has also seen a 0.5 price rise at 5.5. Similarly, Soufal has also seen a 0.5 price rise as he is now £5 million. Moving on to the Spurs, Lloris remains unchanged at 5.5, Son increases to £10 million as he is now a fairly expensive option, and Kane also ties with Salah to be the most expensive player in fantasy at £12.5 million. And Højbjerg remains the same at £5 million for the Spurs. Moving on to Norwich, Krul comes in at £4.5 million, which is the minimum price for keepers. Pukki comes in at £6 million, which is the same price as he was when Norwich were in the Premier League last, and he is a cheap alternative to the likes of Ivan Toney. Hanley is £4.5 million in the Norwich defence, and McLean is coming in at £5 million in the middle of the park. For Leeds, there has been a few price hikes as Meslier is priced at £5 million for a keeper. Cooper stays the same at £4.5 million, but then the interesting ones are Rafinha and Bamford, who have both gone up in £6.5 million and £8 million respectively. Rafinha does look to be good value in the middle of the park, and Bamford at £8 million is probably 0.5 too expensive despite scoring a lot of goals last season. For Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha remains unchanged at £7 million, and Guaita drops to £4.5 million, which does make him one of the cheapest keepers in FPL who will start. Mitchell's price has increased by £500,000 as he was fairly promising when he played for Crystal Palace, as he is priced at £4.5 million, and Benteke, who was in great form at the end of last season, is priced at £6.5 million. Moving on to the next batch of price reveals, starting off with Brighton. Brighton have seen some very interesting price changes as Sanchez does remain at 4.5 as he is one of the cheapest keepers in the game, and Brighton do have a promising batch of fixtures to start, so he could be a good option. Pascal Gross remains at £6 million in the middle of the park after recording 8 assists last season, and Trossard is priced at £6.5 million as he has increased this year. Basuma remains at the minimum price for midfielders, which is fair. And moving on to the Gunners, Aubameyang has seen a £2 million price decrease as he has moved up to forward and is priced at £10 million. Smith Rowe increases by £1 million as he is around 5.5, which is a fairly cheap option for a midfielder, and Pepe has seen a drop for the Gunners as he is now only priced at £7.5 million. Gabriel remains unchanged in the defence for Arsenal at £5 million. Moving on to Villa, there has been a couple of interesting price changes as Martinez, who was the top scoring keeper last year, has seen a £1 million price rise as he is priced at 5.5 million, which does probably make him a bad option to have in FPL. Grealish has seen a £0.5 million price rise as £8 million is probably fair for him because if he can string together a few performances throughout the season without injury, he will no doubt be a good option. Watkins has seen a dramatic price increase of 1.5 million, which is fair enough as he was one of the top scoring forwards last year, and Tyrone Mings remains unchanged in the Aston Villa defence at £5 million. Moving on to the Manchester United price reveals, Fernandes is the one that has been talked about the most as he has increased to £12 million, which has seen a £1.5 million increase. This is justifiable as he was the top scoring player in fantasy last season and he is still cheaper than the likes of Salah and Kane. Maguire remains unchanged at 5.5 in the United defence, and Pogba has seen a £1 million price decrease. Rashford stays the same at £9.5 million, which is reasonable as he still was one of the highest scoring midfielders last year. Moving on to the newly promoted Brentford, their keeper is coming in at the minimum price of 4.5 million, as well as Pontus Jansson, who was only priced at 4.5 million as well. Mbeumo is a mid-price midfielder, which is fair enough as he was involved quite a lot with Ivan Toney last season. Speaking of, Toney is coming in at £6.5 million, which is $500,000 more than Teemu Pukki, but this is justifiable as he was the top scoring player in the championship last season. Moving on to Burnley, Pope is unchanged as a mid-priced keeper. Chris Wood does see an increase in price of £7 million, which is fair enough as he did have a good back end to the season. Tarkowski drops in price to 5 million as he was 5.5 last year, and Ben Mee remains unchanged in that Burnley defence at £5 million. Move on to Chelsea, N'Golo Kante remains unchanged at 5 million, which is fair enough as he doesn't tend to score that many points and has a fairly low ownership. One of the most notable changes for Chelsea is that Timo Werner's price has dropped to £9 million, which does increase the conversation about him as being a potential striker option, and Mendy does increase to one of the more expensive keepers as he is now £6 million due to Chelsea's solid defensive record. And Azpilicueta remains unchanged at £6 million. This is probably a bit expensive for Azpilicueta as he doesn't offer that much attacking potential. And moving on to Everton, who I think have had the most influential price changes so far, and it has made a couple of their assets very enticing. Calvert-Lewin has only seen a £0.5 million price. Calvert-Lewin has seen a £1 million price rise as he is positioned as a forward for $8 million, which is fair enough as he was one of the top scoring forwards last year. Some of the notable changes include Rodriguez dropping in price to £7 million as he could be great value at the start considering Everton's good fixture run. Similarly, Luka Dean drops by £0.5 million, so he does seem to be better value at the back for £5.5 million as Everton should record a few clean sheets in their first batch of fixtures. Richarlison also drops to £7.5 million and he could compete with Calvert-Lewin to be that potential Everton striker asset. Moving on to Leicester, this is another team that has seen a lot of discussion recently as they do have a couple of good FPL assets. Schmeichel does see a £0.5 million price drop as he is now only £5 million, which is probably a bit cheap for Schmeichel as Leicester's defence is fairly solid. Kelechi Iheanacho has been discussed a lot recently and his price has seen a £1.5 million hike due to his very impressive form at the back end of the 2020-21 season. Maddison does continue to be good value in the middle of the park at £7 million as his output should increase this year with Harvey Barnes coming back from injury and Maddison should be fully fit as well. Jamie Vardy at £10.5 million has seen an increase, which probably does price him out as he isn't great value up top. Ruben Diaz of Man City increases to £6 million amongst many other players for the team that has increased this year. Speaking of, Mahrez has seen another price rise to £9 million as he is probably slightly too expensive now considering that he will get rotated in and out of the squad. Sterling drops to £11 million, which is probably a bit too expensive for Raheem Sterling. I reckon a £10 million price tag will be better for him, but being only £1 million cheaper than the likes of Kevin De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes is a bit of a put-off. Speaking of, De Bruyne comes in at £12 million, which is probably unreasonable considering that he didn't score as many points as he would have hoped last season. Moving on to Southampton, Ward-Prowse increases to £6.5 million as he was very impressive this year, and Shea Adams does see a £1 million price rise of £7 million, which I think is slightly more expensive than you want to pay for Shea Adams as his output wasn't as much as desired. Walker Peters is £5 million in that Southampton defence, and Armstrong is £6 million in the middle of the park. And moving on to the Wolves, they have also got a couple of interesting price reveals as Jimenez is only £7.5 million as he is very good value up top for the Wolves. Traore has also seen a price drop to £6 million and you would expect his output to increase this season with the return of Raul Jimenez. Semedo is at £5 million in that Wolves defence, which is fair enough as he does have a fairly solid attacking output, and Bolly drops to £5 million, which is a decrease of £500,000. And moving on to the final two teams' price reveals, starting off with Watford. The notable changes include Ismail Assar coming in at £6 million, Cirolto coming in at 4.5 as a minimum price defender, João Pedro is a mid-price forward which is fairly good value, and Danny Rose for Watford does seem to be the standard option at 4.5 million pounds in the defence. He does offer very good attacking potential up and down the wings. And to cap it off, Newcastle has St Maximin coming in at £6.5 million and has seen a position change to forward. Dubravka drops to £4.5 million, which is fairly good value considering that he should be starting. And Wilson has seen a price hike to £7.5 million, which isn't too bad. And also Newcastle have a good starting fixture run, so this is fairly reasonable. And Almiron does see a decrease to £5.5 million as he was a bit underwhelming last season. So after reviewing the price reveals, there is 4 players that we have picked out that could potentially be good value coming into the new FPL season. Starting off with Rafinha at £6.5 million, he does seem to be good value despite seeing a price rise this season, as he did record 6 goals and 9 assists last year. Obviously, Leeds are a very attacking side and Rafinha would be expecting a good attacking output this season. Another one to look at is Robert Sanchez in goalkeeper for Brighton. He will be starting this year, and at £4.5 million being the lowest price that you will get a starting goalkeeper for, I think he is a great option to have coming to Game Week 1, as Brighton have some very good starting fixtures. Taking a look at Leicester, Kelechi Iheanacho has a very good price of £7.5 million, which despite seeing a big increase, does seem to be fairly good value up top. Leicester have a decent batch of fixtures to start the season, and Kelechi Iheanacho is in great form coming into the back end of last season, so hopefully he can continue this over to the new year. And now have a look at the fourth and final player, it is Luca Dean. He has seen a £0.5 million price decrease, and I think at £5.5 million in the Everton defence, it is fairly good value. Despite Everton not keeping as many clean sheets as they would have liked last year, they do have a very good starting fixture run, so I think Luca Dean, considering that he will be on corners, could be very good value in the back. So that's what we've got for today for the FPL price reveals coming into the 2021-22 season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to show support for the channel. And once again, share this video with your friends if you guys are enjoying this type of content. Also leave a comment which price reveals you guys are most excited about. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.